Hello and welcome to this week's edition of AAN News. I'm Lily Kim. Our top story of the week, a fire that ravaged through Devon Avenue Thanksgiving Day, leaving many of the mom and pop stores on the block in tatters. Our Elaine Lowe takes us there.
A fiery blaze early Thanksgiving morning gave Devon shop owners little to be thankful for. The cause of the fire remains undetermined, but its effects are felt throughout this South Asian community, the blaze having destroyed almost a dozen businesses in this heavily commercial district.
The fire broke out last Thursday morning at 4 a.m., burning over half a block of Devon's shops and restaurants between Campbell and Maplewood Avenue.
The full extent of the damage is estimated at over $1 million, and shop owners say they hope to rebuild as soon as possible. Elaine Lowe, AAN News.
Research predicts online holiday spending will top $25 billion this year. This is a 25% increase from last year, and AAN has some helpful tips for you to make your holiday cyber shopping go smoothly. Long lines, big crowds, or endless rounds searching for parking? Not here, just the comfort of sitting back and with a click of a mouse, another item off your Christmas checklist. And now, so many people are buying online. What are some of the hot online items? The products that are hard to find in stores or impossible to find, such as the new PlayStation 3s and Nintendo Wiis. But what consumers must be aware of when shopping online is 1, the shipping, and 2, the return policy. What if that shirt is just too big or that plasma screen is just too big? The way to avoid any unpleasantness is make sure the seller who you're buying from 1, has a good return policy, and 2, has a guarantee or warranty. The online industry is a highly competitive market. Sellers are bending over backwards to get your business, especially this time of year. Santa Claus is not coming to North Korea, or the U.S. isn't, that is. The Bush administration wants the communist country's attention, so like a scolding parent, it's making it tougher for North Korea to receive electronics. No more plasma screen TVs, iPods, or Segway scooters. Not only can't Kim Jong-il obtain the high-end electronics, but no more of his favorites, such as Cognac, Rolexes, and Harleys. The ban would extend to even music and sports equipment. Experts say the effort would be the first to ever curtail a specific category of goods not associated with military buildups or weapons. Making history, home prices fell for the 3rd straight month, and even with mortgage rates at its lowest, buyers just aren't buying and are waiting for the right time to find a deal. But the big question is, when is that right time? Our Ingrid Yonada explores the issue.
Gone are the days of rapid turnover in Chicago's housing market. At least that's what Lorene Yu, online reporter for Crane's Chicago Business, said of the housing trend.
Now we're at a point where interest rates have climbed up a bit. I mean, they're still in the single digits, so historically they're still good, but comparatively to maybe 5 or 6 years ago, they're higher. And then we've got a lot, particularly in Chicago, we've got a lot of supply. I mean, Chicago is a heavy condo market, and you look in the skyline and there are cranes everywhere. And when you see a crane, we're not talking like a 6-flat or a 10-flat building. We're talking about a multi-story building with dozens to hundreds of condos that are coming on board. So there's a lot of supply, there are higher interest rates. There was a time where people who wanted to be in houses are probably in houses. So all those factors, you're just seeing a slowdown in activity, and it's just all creating this combination of where things are just not moving as quickly as they were years ago.
Either way you look at it, there are 2 words to describe the situation: buyer's market.
This is an excellent time for people to buy because interest rates are still historically low, and there's been a drop in prices in the housing market because of the decline in sales, and it's a great time to buy.
How the market is all depends on which side of the equation you're sitting on. If you are a developer and you've got a condo and you've got a building full of units that you want to sell, it might look pretty grim right now for you. But if you're a buyer and you're on the other side, to you this might seem normal because you don't have to rush in and have your inspector and have your mortgage papers and your loan approval right then and there to make sure that you get the place that you want.
Despite a growing number of homes unsold, the National Association of Realtors is positive that the gradual fall in prices will help boost home sales nationally. But a different situation in Chicago, home prices have been steady over the years, and there isn't much action in home sales, something Ron Ruby said is caused by bottom fishers.
We call them bottom fishers, people that are sitting around waiting for the bottom to hit. It's no different than trying to make that determination with the stocks. You don't know when the bottom's going to hit. You may think the bottom's here and then you buy and it goes down, or you may think the bottom's coming and instead you're at the bottom and it goes up and you've lost the opportunity. You don't know that. So, I caution people against making decisions based on timing. They should make decisions based on their needs and their financial abilities. So,
what's next?
I think it's going to possibly continue on this pace. I mean, if there is a pickup, I think it will be, a slight improvement over this. I don't think we're going to be back to the go-go days of, early 2000s when housing sales were just setting records year after year.
Ingrid Yanada, AAN News.
Beijing Olympic tickets are going to be quite affordable. Organizers say 60% of the 2008 tickets would cost $13 or even less. This is so as many people as possible can attend. 7 million tickets will go on sale next year. Correspondents say China is less concerned about making a buck and sees the games as a chance to showcase their economic modernization. However, there are concerns that cheaper tickets will encourage the black market sales. Salsa dancing has always been fashionable, and now it's making it on prime time, such as shows like Dancing with the Stars. But at a deeper level, for one couple, Latin dance broke down the racial walls and put two hearts together. AAN has more on the love tale.
He is African American and she is Taiwanese. Two very different cultures brought together by one thing: salsa dancing.
Salsa is a Latin dance, but really it draws everybody. And that's the really cool thing about it.
If you've ever been in the salsa scene in Chicago, what's beautiful about it and what I really liked about it, particularly when I was really young and first moved up here, is that your age, your class, your race, your gender really doesn't make very much difference as far as your status on the salsa scene is concerned. There's only one thing that makes a difference, and that's whether or not you can dance.
A few years back, he was an instructor while she was an avid student. So, how did it all started?
Over the years, I'd see her dance in events and in the classroom. And there's something wonderful about watching a beautiful woman dance. I would always notice her.
In other words, salsa dancing is like the perfect recipe to spice things up.
The nature of the music and the movements that you make while you're doing the dance, they tend to be more on the sensual side compared to, say, swing or Lindy or anything, or even club dancing. It's set up to be romantic.
Aside from their weekly classes, Latin street dancing brings people together to salsa their night away every Thursdays at Club Excalibur downtown. Couples find different ways to keep their romance alive and relationships strong. But for the Mannings, salsa dancing is the answer.
It's not just a part of how we got together, it's also how we continue to be together.
From the Latin Street Dancing Studio, Ingrid Yanada, AAN News.
What Barbie dolls are to American girls is henna art to South Asian girls. And last week I got a taste of this Eastern style of art at one Chicago beauty shop. Located on the northwest side of Chicago, the Beauty Spot is more than just a beauty shop. It's a full-service salon and more. Besides the updos, manicures, and pedicures, the Beauty Spot offers threading. And what's becoming more popular because of celebrities like Madonna is henna tattoo. It's the art form of Mehndi that has existed for centuries.
Oh, it's so old, we can't even track of it.
Okay. Henna comes from the Lawsonia innimaris bush grown in the northern African countries, the Middle East, and South Asia. The leaves are harvested, dried, and crushed, making the henna powder and ready for art. Henna is usually worn as a symbol of celebration.
Weddings?
Yeah, weddings
like
and Diwali, and there's birthdays and our holidays. We put it on too. So this is, it's parties anywhere, anything. We just want to get the reason, just put it on.
Here I am getting my first henna tattoo. It took no more than 5 minutes to put on this traditional design of henna tattoo. All I gotta do now is wait 15 minutes for it to dry up, flake off, and it'll last about 15 days. That's right, a real tattoo, but for only 15 days. No huge commitments and no painful needles. The art form remains essentially the same as centuries ago, but now you can see contemporary designs of henna. And besides benefits for the outer beauty, it's for the inner as well.
It's all herbs and it's all natural. It's earthy. Okay. So it's good for your skin and we apply on the hair too.
Okay. Still to come, find out how to treat your winter blues, discover why Kumar came to Chicago besides our White Castles, and stay tuned for our full coverage of Sunday's Bears game. All up next on AAN. ABC7's Linda Yu spoke at the Stewart Graduate School of Business. The goal? To prepare Chicago for China's booming economy. Ingrid Yanada has more on the story.
Chicago's road to China.
In her short but direct presentation, Linda Yu not only educated but also challenged students to think differently. ABC7's anchor Linda Yu stopped by IIT's downtown campus to talk to students on the changing face of China.
The world's fastest growing economy. But is China a friend or foe?
After the presentation, AAN asked this student whether he sees China as a friend or foe.
So I would say India would not be joining hands with China, but it would be a competitor to China.
Denise Kwan got her MBA from IIT 10 years ago. Compared to when she graduated, Kwan saw a huge difference in how business works today.
I think everything's quadruple the speed. You know, technology and everything, really quadruple the speed. But people still thinking the same way. So there must be a gap between how technology goes one way and how we behave one way.
Linda Yu's visit was the second of IIT's Stewart Leadership Lecture Series. The series were created to bring distinguished professionals and IIT students together.
There's only so much that we can teach them inside of the classroom. They learn about finance, they learn about accounting, they learn about all of these different elements. But it's more important for them to get real-world experience.
The lecture series are open to the public, and if you are interested in going to one in the future, you can call the number on your screen. Ingrid Yanada, AAN News.
Historically, many Asian communities have been undercounted, and for preparation of the 2008 test census and 2010 decennial, a series of focused discussion groups were hosted around the nation. Last week, the Chicago office held a Filipino, Korean, and Vietnamese panel. This was to make sure the future census conducts their surveys in a culturally sensitive way and to ensure accuracy. Around 4 to 6% of the U.S. population suffers from seasonal depression caused by the lack of sunlight of shorter days. This is known as seasonal affective disorder, and one psychologist sees a bigger problem amongst Asian Americans than the gloomy weather.
Shorter days and cold winter months tend to make matters worse for people with seasonal depression. After years of clinical practice and study, Dr. Kong noticed Asian Americans are more likely to brush off their symptoms of depression instead of treating them. A response she blames on lack of understanding.
I find that Asian clients
are not as educated about psychological services, and there's a huge stigma about seeing psychologists. You know, that means something's wrong with you. You know, why couldn't you solve your own problem? You know, why do you have to tell an outsider? They're also unfamiliar with what it's like coming to see a psychologist.
Over time, Dr. Kong also learned that Asians are out of touch with their feelings and emotions compared to non-Asians.
And if you look at the Asian client, they do look like they're sad. They just don't report they feel sad. Oftentimes what I hear from Asian American that are born here, what I hear is that my parents never hug me and say I love you, and they don't show a lot of feelings. Whereas my Caucasian friends, you know, they go home, their parents hug them and say, how have you been feeling lately?
Although this may seem depressing, there are ways to treat people with the seasonal blues. Patients can come in and talk with the psychologist, where everything is kept confidential and locked up. Or they can also try light therapy.
Let's say you come in this winter with seasonal affective disorder. There's some evidence, some research that says that light therapy works just as well as talk therapy. But next winter, if you've gone through the talk therapy, you're less likely to experience another episode.
Ingrid Yanada, AAN News.
Known as Kumar in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, Kal Penn came to Chicago last Thursday. The South Asian actor stopped by Northwestern University to speak of his recent successes and balancing them with his cultural heritage. Penn is now starring in the role teen comedy National Lampoon Van Wilder, The Rise of Taj. The new film is a chance for him to headline a film on his own. Last summer, Penn played a henchman for Lex Luthor in Superman Returns and has made numerous appearances on Fox's 24. Chicago celebrating Christmas with a German holiday festival, and with November making temperature records, many were out delighting in the warm Christmas spirit. Hot cocoa, hats, and big coats weren't necessary this day at the Christkindl Market. November 2006 in Chicago made history with a record of 6 consecutive days of temperatures in the 60s, warming up everyone's Christmas spirit.
A lot of holiday cheer. I think everyone walking around has really big smiles on their faces, and there's just a lot of holiday momentum around here. It just feels good to be here.
Christkindl Market offers a unique selection of handcrafted, high-quality items not readily available in Chicagoland. Fine hand-blown ornaments, toys, holiday decor, and elegant outerwear from around the world. Feast on German and European delicacies such as brats and delicious finger snacks.
And what do you have there? Nuts.
The 4-week-long event at the Daily Center is the country's largest and most renowned holiday market, attracting more than 1 million visitors from around the world. The grand opening is always held on the Friday after Thanksgiving with a holiday tree lighting ceremony. The bazaar also has a Santa house, fun affairs, and a model train on the plaza, favorable for the young ones. And with over 1 million visitors, Christkindl Market is now an important and popular marketing location for Chicago. With a disappointing loss last week, the Bears came up with a victory over the Minnesota Vikings, proving to their loyal fans Chicago is going to the Super Bowl. It was a turnover frenzy here at Soldier Field, and it started off at opening kickoff. Bears defense and special teams overcame the Vikings 23-13 despite another poor performance by Rex Grossman. The quarterback was booed by Soldier Field fans while completing just 6 of 19 passes for 34 yards with no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a minuscule 1.3 passer rating. And now fans want to change.
Breezy is the answer to their offense
and are losing their confidence.
Rex Grossman is kind of iffy. I'm not sold on him yet.
The Bears clinched their NFC North title 2 years in a row, but with less than expected performance by Rex Grossman, these division champs had mixed emotions.
I know the fans' frustration and everything, so it's it wasn't a surprise to me, but you know, it's definitely you know, a situation you don't want to be in. It's unfortunate, but it just feels weird. Like I feel like we lost, and I'm, you know, wearing a division champion. There's a lot of things that are unusual about this press conference right now.
Asked after the game whether he would consider benching Grossman in favor of veteran backup Brian Greasy, Coach Lovie Smith reiterated his support for the former Florida star.
Rex is our quarterback. We're not changing. We're 10-2 with Rex as our quarterback.
Like the main man, a few still believe.
We don't have to dominate to win every game. We can just keep winning the way we are, and I think we can make it to the Super Bowl, no problem.
I think the Chicago Bears are the greatest team that ever played the game. The Bears!
With a win that felt more like a loss, team captain Brian Urlacher still has high hopes.
We won the game. We won our division. I don't know what expectations are right now. We expect to go Super Bowl. We expect to get home field advantage, and we expect to win every game. It doesn't work out like that, but those are our expectations.
With a 10-2 record, the Bears are in the playoffs and are heading to St. Louis next Monday night to face the Rams. I'm Lily Kim in Soldier Field, AAN News. Thank you for choosing AAN, your Asian news leader. Catch our rebroadcast Tuesday mornings at 8 and tune in next Monday night to see all of Toyota's 8 SUVs and get a glimpse at an exclusive Korean art exhibit. I'm Lily Kim. Thank you and see you next time.